The second thing would be the referendum on the PAP. Now, I have said many times before, my posts, even in my interviews with media outlets, that ultimately the election will be, at least in part, and I argue in large part, a referendum on the PAP. So imagine if today we had done this live and Tharman had gotten 50%. So Mas Agos asked, would you still consider the PA referendum on the PAP? So that's what I wanted to address. So imagine if Tharman got only 50% and he won. For sure, many people, including myself, would be saying that this is a referendum on the PAP and people are upset at the PAP. So we can't have our cake and eat it. We can't say that if the results are not good, it's a referendum on the PAP. If the results are good, it's not a referendum on the PAP, right? So I would say, at least in part, it is a referendum on the PAP. Now, of course, there's a caveat, right? The caveat is Tharman is more popular than his former party. I think that is undeniable. I think he's the most popular politician in Singapore. Probably PM is second, and he is first, just based on numbers from general election, and I think the presidential election showed that as well. So there is that Tharman factor. However, given that independence was the theme of the election, so much so that Tharman also reacted to these criticisms from his two opponents, from Ng Kok Song and Tan Kin Lian. Independence was the thing that they brought to the table. So they didn't say that they would be a better manager of the reserves and so on than Tharman, but they said they are independent of the ruling party. Given that that was their central theme, and yet Tharman managed to get 70%, you have to say, at least in part, it shows that the PAP brand is not as damaged as a lot of people like to say or think online. And association with the party does not drag a person down completely. If you were to believe what we read online, you would think that that would be such a huge factor. Now, of course, Tharman is unique. He's an anomaly. There is no other Tharman. But I think if I were the PM, I would take comfort from this and think that, oh, if I have really capable candidates, Singaporeans would vote for me, and in spite of whatever has happened, whatever people may say, that the party brand isn't as damaged as a lot of people have claimed. And you can say it's not just it hasn't been as damaged. I would say it's still the most trusted brand in many ways, right? So I think for sure it is a good result for the PAP. I don't think you can say otherwise, right? You cannot say it's a terrible result for the PAP. At best, you can say, oh, the Tharman factor far outweighs PAP's popularity or whatever it is, right? But as I said, if the reverse was true, if Tharman did badly, we will all say that this reflects badly on the PAP. So I think it's only fair that since he did well, you have to say at least in part it reflects well on the PAP. Okay? So that's the second thing that I wanted to say, and I think this is quite an important point. I think I already addressed this. Z said Tharman's reputation precedes or exceeds his former parties. Of course, but as I was saying, the independence of the candidates was the central theme of the other two candidates' campaigns, and I think the fact that this didn't become a factor shows that Singaporeans were willing to accept it. And you have to accept that, right, whether you agree or whether you disagree with Singaporeans' judgments.